Sabri fans are, I guess, there's not a lot of them, but they're hardcore.
Very loyal.
It's all, you know, every eye in the whole place is on this film. It's very compelling person. Speaking of compelling persons, check this jacket out, camera. All cameras on Louis St.Lewis's fabulous opera
Which is his
cover.
real name. Louis St. Lewis.
Well, you've got to dress fine when you come to this area, I mean, right? This is like big-time television, so you have to look
Are you
good.
kidding me? From North Carolina? I mean, step down if you ask me, coming to Washington, D.C. from North Carolina.
I don't know about that.
No, I know you don't. So this Louis St. Lewis is Lewis's real name?
Louis St. Lewis is Lewis's real name.
What were your parents thinking? Or drinking?
I think they'd had a drink too many.
I think maybe they had, you know? It's a Southern tradition. Let's have a couple of bells and come up with a name for the kid. Louis would be good. So are they an old French family or something?
No, it's just like a, you know, average phone book kind of name. I think they just flipped through and hit the same name twice with the dark, so it came up that way. So.
His Glen sound, right? One of the most famous soundmen in the world. Glen. So you could be, of course, the saint you got to do something about. Well, this is the work of Louis St. Lewis, if anybody can see this out there. And not only that, but I balanced that perfectly, Louis.
Well, that's wonderful. I'll see if I can catch it with my foot again.
There you go.
And this is yet another aspect from his green period.
And this is Icarus?
This is Icarus in Patagonia. I decided that D.C. needed good artists because I hadn't seen any up here, so I decided I would grace the area with my presence.
And you're currently at Mariposa?
Oh, wonderful Mariposa Gallery. That's right, on 18th Street Northwest.
I would say that your modesty was boundless were not for the fact that I've lived here for 12 years and will agree with you 100%. There is a dearth of what you would call vibrant, exciting, other than mainstream art in the city, or mainstream, most things in the city. We're kind of hidebound by convention and conservatism, but you and your material are both kind of a breath of fresh air.
I'm conservative too. It looks like this thing wants to spin around.
It's not exactly the same thing.
But Mariposa is a gay gallery. Just.
They're what?
Yeah.
Get myself out of there!
I'm sorry. But they're the only gay gallery in Washington.
Are they?
Yes.
No wonder I wound up there.
Yeah, what did you just send the stuff around? They sent back the postcard, checked yes, and we sent the pictures?
Like I sent in my slides to this gallery, and they must have like sent something immediately because I got the phone call that week. They said, please come here and show. They said, you're the gayest person we've seen yet. So,
well, your photographs, yes, but I mean, I don't think that your artist. I mean, this is just beautiful stuff. Yeah, it really is.
Well, you know,
it's not political. I guess that's what I mean.
It isn't political, and that's something that I don't have in common with a lot of, typically gay artists. I'm not out trying to just push, the gay lifestyle. I think throughout history, a lot of times artists and creative people have had homosexual or bisexual tendencies, and I see nothing wrong with acknowledging that and showing in a great gallery like that.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
a
wonderful.
super gallery.
Well, I want to talk about process here because this fascinates me, as we've talked about before, that I do Call Xerox stuff too. And you incorporate, what do you call it, fixed?
I can tell you because it's written on the back of the
Okay.
What's this?
Electrostatic graphite.
Electrostatic graphite, which is, of course, a fancy
That's
way
a
of
fancy
saying
name for saying Xerox.
Xerox ink.
Can we just concentrate on this for a second?
Certainly.
This is eggshell harlequin. I don't know if you can see it. But it's marvelous. It's multi-layered.
It is multi-layered. You can't really see it. The front, of course, is glass. Halfway through, there's a plate of acetate that there's an impression on, a photographic impression on from the Xerox. Plus, there's also elements in there. Well, it's indescribable. You're going to have to go to the Mariposa Gallery and see this thing up close because it's utterly fantastic. And you're wildly successful, from what I understand.
Well, I could be more widely successful and wildly successful.
Well, this is something I wanted to talk about.
Money.
One of my favorite theories about
Cut to the chase, Louis.
one of my favorite things about our modern art debate centers around the funding.
Yes.
Which is kind of a weird concept.
You're coming from North Carolina, I'm sure you're...
Oh, we're in Jesse Helms territory.
Absolutely.
You are. Well, Jesse may be one of your biggest fans,
Is this
probably.
Jesse Helms by any chance?
No.
Sadly, no.
It's not quite correct yet.
This is my hero. This is my post-mortem portrait of Andy Warhol that's created out of an actual human skull that I received as a Christmas present. And I've covered it with Coca-Cola bottle caps in honor of Mr. Warhol's many Coca-Cola
And 15 minutes.
And he's got a clock in his eye socket for the 15 minutes of fame that people would achieve. Because, there's a long history of people using human bones and decorating them. The Aztecs did. I mean, different African tribes have done so for many centuries. So I'm just like bringing it up to date.
Would the Aztecs go about cleaning the skulls in the way that you have?
No, they would not put them in the dishwasher with heavy-duty pots and pans like I do, but they would clean them somehow.
And this
I'm not
was
exactly
a gift.
sure.
This scarf.
This was a gift, yes.
It's getting a little long in the tooth, though, isn't it?
Well, but no, for Christmas, somebody said, here's a paper bag, and we have open it up and see a Christmas present. And I pulled it out, and here was this head, which was not as clean as it is now. So
Well, they may have gotten it recently. Maybe Christmas Day. They just went and dug it up for you, knowing how much you wanted one.
Well, that'd be real sweet. But I also get a lot of skulls from, like, Carolina Biological Supply Company, and different places will ship them to you.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that.
Amazing.
Because I decided the art world is not going to immortalize me, so I'm going to immortalize myself and start doing
I'm
all
not so
these
sure.
things.
I read the reviews that were in your book, and it seems like everybody who sees this sees something new and wonderful. My favorite one was Andy Warhol's comment on your work. That was Hieronymus Bosch meets MTV, which is, I guess, sort of true. It's the idea of quick cuts, and yet some, what was the other one? Wonderfully horrible or wonderfully disturbing that somebody said about it. And a nice juxtaposition of words that...
There's a lot of good sound bites out there. That's important to anybody who's
That was
going to write.
your soundbite review page. It was interesting stuff. Anyway, back to my idea about funding. Would you rather be funded and
By private individuals is what
who buy your work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care if no government funds a great artist usually. I mean, they just don't. I mean, a couple of hundred years ago they might have.
Yeah.
But nowadays, the finer artists are always funded by individual collectors who have vision.
Right.
So I would be ashamed, in fact, if the North Carolina Museum of Art offered to buy one of my paintings, or if a large corporation offered to buy one. I really wouldn't want to sell it to them.
What if they wanted to give you $1 million for it?
I think I'd change my mind.
Yeah,
So,
But
we're all bargaining over price.
how is your art in North Carolina? How's it received?
it was received nicely. I mean, at first I had some difficulty, as all artists do, but very quickly people recognized great talent, and they decided to help me out. They said, that boy needs makeup, so let's buy some artwork for him so that he can put some on. So it's just been rolling along ever since then.
Yeah.
And how about Mr. and Mrs. St. Lewis? How do your parents feel?
Oh, they think I'm just a star. First they
Really?
wanted me to be a doctor, but they saw that wasn't going to work out because I hate blood, so now they're quite pleased.
But you like body parts?
Not necessarily
blood.
body parts. I just think there's, when we're going through this time now where it's all AIDS and sickness and death, there was a period in time during the Middle Ages when the plague was going on where images that dealt with death were really in the forefront of artistic tradition. So I'm just kind of rehashing that and bringing that up to the future.
I always thought it was wonderful. I think one of the worst things about our 20th century is that we've gotten farther and farther removed from actual death. I mean, early in this century, it was not uncommon for people to drop dead in the street or for dead animals to be found out. And now death is immediately removed from our view, sanitized, cremated, boxed.
That's why you've got to come to
and so when people actually come up against a real death, like, oh my God, so-and-so died, it's like a tragedy. Every death is a tragedy. Well, every death isn't a tragedy. Every death is the end of, life. Tend to go that way.
So what's your next show?
My next show is at beautiful Wake Forest University in North Carolina, where I'm exposing myself in coffins for the viewing public. I'm making wax copies of my body, and how the Egyptians would carry what they needed for the next lifetime. I'm carrying what I need for the next lifetime.
I can't wait to see.
No, not sandwiches, honey. I don't need any sandwiches.
Riding crops with condoms.
I need some condoms. I need some credit cards.
Oh, in the next life you don't need any. What do you got to worry about?
Cellular phones, all those kind of things. So I'm just carrying what I need.
Oh, Lordy.
Marvelous. So how do you get hold of your coffins?
Mr. Coffin, there's like a 1-800 number.
There is not.
There is.
Mr. Coffin.
It's located in San
Speak to a
Francisco.
real live corpse. Dial 1-900.
And the ones that I'm getting are those beautiful English ones, as a matter of fact, that are like tight at the feet, tight at the head, and it's just like one smooth curve that comes up the
And
center.
drapes beautifully
That's
around
right.
the
So
middle
you
of the
just
body.
like crochet arms, and there you go. So they're perfect. I mean, you get like a coffin, $350.
1-800.
It's 1-800 something 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 doom is the last 4 digits. They have like this is wonderful.
I'm looking at Lisa and I'm thinking, this is so unlike my school. This whole concept.
But she's sitting there thinking, I can write a song about this.
Yeah, that's right. Is this thing you think it's song 1-800-DO? But if you do, you always share the copyright. Don't forget.
Exactly. How to send money my way.
Yeah, this boy is greedy. I'm not kidding. You're going to be famous. I just have a strange feeling that
I'm famous and rich.
any tireless, well, everybody's famous is rich, aren't they?
No,
We
most
are
people are
gospel
infamous. And,
famous,
I mean, look at y'all. Y'all are famous. Are you rich?
we are,
Mine.
proportionately to our fame, we are probably rich, I suppose.
Are you going to become famous?
I'm hoping that my songs will be.
Have you